Hey fam, welcome back again to my channel. So guys, in today's video I'll be clearing your doubts, clearing your mint about Australia. Like I said guys, before I started this YouTube channel, I remember when my younger brother actually told me he was moving to Australia. I said, Australia that's kiniko. So sometimes these things we see online, they actually just mint, they're actually just anyway. Today I'll be clearing your mint about Australia. And yeah, I currently have like 8 myths about Australia that we Africans actually believe about Australia. So in today's video, I'll be clearing your myth. So after talking about these 8 myths, after clearing your mind about the 8 myths in Australia, if you feel like you still have more doubts, you still have more myths that I did not talk about, make sure to leave it in the comment section. Then I'll address it in my next video. So the first one on my list is, when people talk about Australia, moving to Australia, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is, you're going to you're going to not just even animals. So let me speak English. Like when you actually tell somebody you're actually moving to Australia, the first thing that comes to their mind that you want to go to an animal country. They think about Australia is animal live there, not just animal, very risky animals. So people tend to be like, and I remember telling my younger brother this when he said he wanted to move to Australia. I just hope he's watching this. Please don't be angry. That time it was Higbaimo. Who wanted their brother, happy their family to go for animal to, car did not kill somebody. Somebody in other Nigeria is not animal. In fact, sometimes if I'm walking on the street, like, these very ugly cars, and they want to jump somebody, I'll be like, wait, even if somebody want to die of car accident, is it not this ugly car? Even if somebody want to die of car accident, at least let it be all this luxurious car. You go not say person go not say die luxurious death, which is all this kabu. So imagine telling somebody now they are moving to Australia that they actually believe that animals, they don't be like, you don't even die natural death. Die death of maybe this is not animal death. It's one of those kind of death that you be like, that even when people come to your burial, they'll be like, they were girl. All those type of pitting deaths you get, all those type of death that will never have like you drop legacy, you get, because it's animal that carry you away. Anyways, so contrary to popular opinion, I don't know why this week is like this. Sorry guys. So contrary to popular opinion, that there are a lot of animals in Australia. Yeah, there are actually a lot of animals in Australia. And are they deadly animals? Yes, 100% they are deadly animals. So what myth am I clearing? So the myth I am trying to clear is the animals are not like when you just enter Australia, then the only thing that you see is animals. It is totally wrong. So these animals, like I said, there are a lot of animals in Australia that are deadly ones, snakes, spider, everything is there. Yes, you are right. But the difference is these animals, they are located in the non-residential places where human being lives, very far away from this thing. So if you actually even hear somebody die of snake bite, that means that it's you that carry your leg to this thing. So and another thing is, if you know anybody in Australia, ask them. Some people can even stay in Australia that they will not even see a single animal throughout their stay or anything. Some people will not even see single animal. So it's not as like the media portrays it, that the only thing in Australia is animals. The only thing in Australia is not animals, but then they have their own side where is animal dominated. And of course, outside the country, they actually value their animal. And then another thing is, let's now say that you use your leg and waka to inside the dungeon where there is animals and everything, because it's outside the country, advanced country. There's actually treatment, like they have paramedics that they can call for you, anti-venom, all those treatment. So if you actually check Google Analytics, or if you make your research, you actually see that despite Australia has more animals, more deadly animals, but people in Africa or Asia actually die more of snake bites or animal bites. So in Africa or Asia, they don't know that we have a lot of animals, but now when they die pass, whereas the places where they have it gone, they know they die, nothing they happens to them. So in a year, you might not get maybe more than 2 people that will actually be affected by, and that is even in very, very rare case. And even that 2 people to be all these white people, you know, there are some white people that they like to just look for trouble. I'm sure you used to see the videos online that somebody can go to zoo and start putting hand inside lions this and be playing. You know, all those white people, they like to do all this nonsense experiment. You get those are those 2 people, because you use your hand go find trouble. But anything apart from that, there is nothing like you get injured. There's nothing like this thing in Australia. And even if village people follow you, they push you to go and meet those animals, you can easily call for what's it called, for help. Like in Australia, they actually have treatment for anti-venom snake or this thing, like in Africa, or this thing that I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to say? So there's actually animals there, there are deadly animals there, but they actually used to mark their zones. They have areas where they are located, maybe in the sub-Saharan. So it's not as if you just sit there in your house and then you just see kangaroo walking in front of your door, or you just see snake in your toilet. Even during that time that there was snake in the toilet, I didn't see any video from anybody in Australia complaining about snake in the toilet. I didn't see a single person. Yeah, that's because but we in Africa, we in Nigeria that claim like, oh, we don't live with animals. In Nigeria, we've seen more animals than you even see more animals in Nigeria than you actually see in Australia. That's because somehow we built our houses in you will see you will get to a new site, you see somebody staying in that new site full of bushes. And then another thing is because in Africa we are very dirty, and these animals, they like to breed in a place that there is dirt and all of that. They have bushes around and then another thing, aside that, they don't used to fumigate. They don't used to do all this. At least if you have bushes around, you should always learn how to fumigate the bush around your house to expel this thing. They don't do that in Nigeria. So we actually have more animals, more venomous animals in Nigeria than in Australia. So I hope with this point of map, been able to clear your doubt that Australia does not have. Australia has dangerous animals. They have deadly animals. But then, now if you use your leg, I don't even understand the video I'm doing today. I think I'm tired. This here is not vibing at all. The mat is not matting. So the next one on my list is. So there's actually animals in Australia. There are deadly animals in Australia. There's no lies about that. But the thing is, they don't just come to you if you don't go to them. So the next one on my list is Australia is far. So the truth of the matter is Australia far? Yes, Australia is actually far. That's the fact about it. But the question I used to ask people is, are you trekking there? Now trek, where you want trek there? So Australia is far. Australia is far. It is not a reason for you not migrating to Australia, because what is flight you enter. And then some might feel like, the flight is always long hours. Like from Nigeria to Australia now, you spend almost 48 hours depending on layover. Do you know that there's some flights that you take from Nigeria to UK that is just like 5 hours from Nigeria, that if you don't check your layover, your stopover very well, you have very long stopover. Do you know that? So whether you are going to UK, whether you are going to Australia, whether you are going to Ghana, whether you are going to inside, whether you are flying from Lagos to Ibadan or Lagos to this thing, you are not trekking there. So distance, yeah, Australia is far, but it is not an excuse for you not to go there. So some people might be like, oh, it's far from their house, it's far from their family. Are you trekking there? And are you, if some people I feel like it's far because they will not be seeing their family. Even if you are inside UK, that is 5 hours from Nigeria, will you be coming to Nigeria to see your family every day? Love of you people's life. Will you be coming to Nigeria to see your family every day? Some of you are even inside Nigeria, inside Lagos. Your parents are in Ibadan. You don't even used to go and see them. They are not for me. Australia is far. I'm not able to see my family. It's not flight. As long as you have your flight money. Even if you are in UK, that is 5 hours from Nigeria. If you don't have money for flight, forget say UK is close to Nigeria. You cannot trek it. So whether you are in UK, whether you are in Australia, whether you are in Guinea, whether you are in the only place that you should be bothered about that is far is heaven. Because when you get to heaven, there's no way you can come back to come and meet us in it. But as long as the place is inside this world, inside this head, you can go anywhere. As long as what? As long as you have your money. As long as what? As long as what? As long as you have your money. So distance is not a barrier because you're taking flights there. And even the flight, it's not as if it's not as if you are driving. It's not like a road trip that you say, oh, you are tired. The other thing is, you enter aeroplane, they will even serve you food. You just sleep. And then when they arrive, this thing, all these airs, they wake you, and you wake up. So which work ganga are you doing? Because you'll be sleeping inside the aeroplane. You can download movies, you can watch movies. So what exactly is your complaint? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So the next thing on my list is difficult permanent residency. So is Australia permanent residency truly difficult? Yes, it is. That is the fact about it. So what am I clearing? Why am I calling it mint? That's because Australia's PR, permanent residency, is not like Canada, that almost everything is inside the occupation or something like that. Right? Australia, if you people don't know, okay, let me tell you. Australia is a small country compared to Canada, or is a very small country. It's a continent on its own, very small. So they are very strategic about people that will actually occupy their place. Like I've explained in my first reason, yes, they're actually animals in Australia. They can even prefer to give that PR to animals even than you. So why people actually feel like Australia PR is difficult is because they don't make research. You can see in Australia permanent residency that Australia is recruiting, maybe like a particular occupation. Even for now, if you see people, they'll tell you nurses are eligible for PR. They'll say, if you go and work in Australia, nurses are eligible for PR. But one thing they not tell you is they have types of nurses that is eligible for that permanent residency. Do you see the difference? Nurses are eligible for PR. That is what they know, that you can get permanent residency. But in real truth, the real people that we say Australia will give that PR to is some specific types of nurses, maybe like anesthetics nursing, like aged care nursing. So the thing is, when people just see the occupation in the permanent residency, they say, they'll give us permanent resident. And then when you go there to study the course or you become a nurse, and then when you apply, you now say, Australia PR is difficult. Australia PR is not difficult. People actually fail to make research. There is one landmark I actually used to give people. Is it landmark? I'll call it. I don't know the right word to use. Landmark, I'll be pinpoint. Before you actually study any course in Australia or for any profession, when you check Australia's skilled immigration list and everything, they have different visa, 189, 49, there are three categories of visa that you have to check before you do any occupation at all in Australia. If this occupation is not under this at least 2 or 3 of these visa categories, please don't go for it. So the first one is 189, the second one is 190, and then the third one, I think 491. If you don't, I'll be typing to these 3 categories. The most important one is 189. If your occupation, if you know the 189, don't even bother yourself. And then another thing about Australia is because they update their their PR permanent residency list regularly. So today they can say nurses are there. For example, they can say nurses are there. Tomorrow they will say no, nurses is not there. Their distance is not stable. But then that's why I say it's better to always target this TV code. So once your occupation can have this TV, no matter how Australia updates their permanent residency skill listing, your occupation will still be there. So people that actually used to fall victim of maybe this year, there's this particular profession in Australia PR, and the next year is not there. It's people that either 189 or this 491 will be other types of visa. So before you study any course in Australia, before you migrate to Australia, in view to get your permanent resident, make sure it has at least 3 categories of this visa: 482 and 491. My head is not, but I'll be correcting it on the screen. Do you guys understand that? So once you can do that, that one is settled. The another thing that actually make Australia PR difficult is what? English language requirement. I made a video about it, I think I have a playlist. I titled it Australia. Make sure you click the playlist. I'll be talking more about that in my subsequent video about Australia PR. But the thing is, Australia PR is not difficult. What is difficult is People go for the wrong choices. People fail to make research. And then another thing is, I see people going to Australia to study vocational course. It is not a vocational course in Australia that you can get the experience. You just waste your time, you just waste your money. And then another thing is, like I said, people fail to make research. There are some certain age that when you get to, don't even bother looking for. It's some certain age you get to. If you don't have long years of experience already, don't really bother trying. Just look for another country or this thing like that. I'm making a separate video of that. But the thing is, Australia period is not that difficult. Once you qualify for it and you have this, they will give it to you. But people actually fail to actually make what's it called, inquiries. So the next one on my list is racism. So people actually feel like Aussies, they're actually hostile. Yes, Australia is actually hostile. They actually kind of have this kind of racist factor, even to their black Aussies go. So, but why I'll be claiming it as mint is because, to me, for me, I feel like UK is more of a racist country than Australia. So what did I say in this list? See, if I'm in a country and you don't like me, I'm not saying your papa. Don't like me as a black skin, it is fine. But if I apply for a job and I qualify for it, give it to me. That is the case with Australia. They might not like you, maybe they might show you that dislike, or they don't like black, or it's fine. But when I submit my CV and I qualify, give me the job. But this case is not in the UK. They don't like you, they will not give you the job. They will prefer for that job to be empty forever and ever. In fact, for that company to go down, for them to employ you. So do you see the different class of racism? And I still feel like Australia is still more, before now they were not friendly, that they are still kind of more friendly to foreigners than UK that actually colonized those. So if you're giving me this thing any day, anytime, I'll pick Australia, because their immigration is still kind of friendly. Imagine UK now that is doing 5 years indefinite leave to remain, and Australia that is doing 2 years PR. I'd rather go to Australia, because I know that even if I not get PR in Australia, I will know that I will try get a job. If you go to UK now and you say, oh yeah, immigrants, come outside. When people come outside, I don't want to say this guy out. 90% of immigrants, the job they are doing is what? Care job. But then when you go to Australia and you say, oh ye immigrants, come out. 90% of immigrants, they have, let me not use 90%, they have more stable work. I'm not trying to say care job is not stable, but you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, some people go to school and everything, they have to settle for care job because that's the easiest one for them to see or to do, right? In Australia, you see, kind of find your feet more and better, as long as, and that's why I say depending, because people actually make mistake, as long as you study the right course, you study you have the right qualifications, you have high chances of getting your dream job in Australia than in the UK. Yeah, you have more chances in Australia of getting your dream job. And even if you not get the right thing, you still get the job. Getting a job in Australia is not of a struggle compared to the UK. Yeah. So the next one on my list is high visa denial. People actually feel like Australia deny visa a lot. I'm making a separate video about countries that actually gives visas. Australia, in fact, let me even say Australia and US, Australia and UK, I'm trying to see the one way even approve visa. I've given to Australia, but because more people are actually going to the UK, right? So Australia actually approves visa a whole lot. They actually deny, but it is that one will be based on you, whether incomplete documents, just normal natural thing, or like maybe like all this Canada or USA, that even if you have your document, their spirit will just tell you, I don't want you in my country, and that's it. Australia did not used to do spiritual denial. They don't used to do. If you have your qualifications, if you have your documents, if you have your proof of fund, and you explain everything, you know that Australia does not do interview for visa, right? So everything you have to submit, you have to explain it in your statement of purpose, in a different letter, explain everything to them. Australia has a very high success rate as long as your document is complete and you do it the right way. Australia has an extremely high In fact, UK and Australia, they're like this. Even UK, that will feel like they approve visa a lot. UK said they deny. Once your document is not complete, they will deny you. So UK and Australia, I would say that they have same high rates of visa approval. Australia approves visa a whole lot. Especially proof of fund. They approve your visa. So don't feel like, oh, I don't want to go to Australia. They deny Kiniko. Australia no to they deny. They don't used to do spiritual, all this spiritual like Canada, like USA, that the woman will just say deny, no reason, no, she not sure I like you. Australia they do spiritual deny. If they deny you, it will be based on maybe you don't have enough proof of fund, or you did not do your IELTS, or you not submit your no document or anything. So I'm making a separate video about common reasons why Australia actually deny visa. But trust me, Australia no they deny visa. They used to deny you about if your document is complete. Australia will not deny you. So the next one on my list is tedious visa application. Most people feel like applying to Australia is very, very tedious. Trust me, Australia is one of those countries that has very easy and straightforward visa application, unlike some that is actually very straightforward. So their visa, the only one I can see maybe is tedious is maybe if you are preparing for IELTS. Yeah, if you're preparing for IELTS, that you have to study. Anything aside that, once you do your IELTS, the only thing you're doing, the main things you're doing, you print out the listing from their website, you fill it. Australia, this thing is not tedious. The only tedious thing again in Australia, this thing is proof of fund, because that's one of the most. If your money is not enough, there's nothing tedious about Australia aside IELTS. And even UK self, there's some people that they request for IELTS. Even people for going for healthcare visa, they in UK they require IELTS one. So it's really IELTS so far to me that I feel like it's stressful, because sitting down and studying, speaking, listening, all those type of things. So the next one on my list is difficult to get a job. I've addressed it earlier. If you skip, go back to my first video, I've addressed it earlier. Australia, it is not difficult to get a job in Australia at all. It is not, whether manual job, whether full-time job, whether part-time job, it is not difficult. The only one that is kind of difficult is sponsored job. And that's why I said people fail to make research, because some people just go to Australia, they can't study a course. I beg, which course is this? What is this supposed to do in economy? So that's why I say tell people, if you don't know the course to study, if you're confused or anything, you can actually send me a DM, book a consultation with me. I'll go through your CV, go through your experience and everything. Then I'll choose. We will choose the best course. So don't just go and study anyhow course. So the thing is, you can get part-time job in Australia easily. You can get all these skinny con job, yes, but sponsored job you can get it easily only if you do the right course. Because if you are in Australia too, and somebody is saying come and sponsor me, but why will I sponsor you when the job I'm hiring you for is a part-time job? So make sure any course you're going for is in high demand in Australia. I hope you understand that. So the next one on my list is hot weather. People feel like Australia is actually like a desert. The weather is too hot. The kineko is too kineko. The Nigeria where you did, have you ever come outside one day, especially this Lagos sun? You come outside one day and then you look up and be like, God, I beg, help us close this door of air fire. Like when we say the sun won't even, you want scatter, wait, you want scatter my body. See, when I make videos, I'm only fair inside my house. I'm only fair, but once I step out like this, you'll be asking me that what happened to me is the sun. So whether you're in Australia, whether you're in the UK, even in the UK, I think a few months ago we heard about the heat wave in UK. Whether you're anywhere, hot weather is generic, and that's because the ozone layer has actually been depleted due to human activities. The ozone layer that is supposed to cover the sun to reduce the effect, it has been depleted. So all of us will gather suffer the sun. So regardless of where you are, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada go their sun. About scaling. So there is hot weather everywhere, and that is not an excuse for you not to go. So if you are saying Australia is hot, the people in Dubai that they are if you put water inside the bathroom gun, the water will start boiling inside. What should they say? Or people in Qatar? It is hot everywhere, my brother. It is hot. It is hot, you. So the next one is extreme cold weather. My dear, in Nigeria gone, we have extreme weather. Because now that we're in December, I don't understand where we are having a matter from. That you bathe, all your body will be doing scaly. That is not an excuse. Most countries are offers the only country so far that I know that has the best weather abroad, that has the very best weather, no complaint, no anything, is Malta. Malta is the only country so far that I know of, you might know of, and that I know of so far that has the best weather. Winter, clinical, best weather. Anything aside that, my dear, you're gonna be rocking it. And when you say it is extremely cold, are you going to be walking naked? No. Are you going to be walking naked? It's not a jacket you will wear. It's not all those things that you put in your hand. Is there no heater in your house? So what are you complaining? Abi, are you walking under the snow? Well, some people used to walk under the snow, but even at that, you put all this. Can you come? It is not an issue. If you feel like Australia is too cold, stay in Nigeria. Abi, you move to Pakistan or Afghanistan. Abi, Syria. That one, the weather too is very cool. So guys, that will actually bring us to the end of today's video, and I hope with this viewpoint of mine, I'll be able to clear your doubts, your myths, the fictions and facts to know about Australia. If you still have any more doubts that is different from the ones I've mentioned here, make sure to leave it in the comment section and I'll address it in my next video. So guys, thank you so much for watching today's video with me. For watching today's video. I see you guys in my next one. Bye.